Runway safety. Since its inception, aviation has faced many challenges in the field of flight safety, with the primary ones being technical malfunctions and piloting errors. However, over time, aviation technology has become significantly more reliable. Strict standards and procedures have been developed regarding its production, maintenance, and repair, as well as operation. In addition, a safe ground infrastructure was created, and research on the impact of the human factor on safety continued. Despite all these achievements and the recognition of aviation as one of the safest industries, aviation accidents, including those with fatalities, continue to occur. The International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, has analyzed that certain types of aviation events are considered high-risk events, since they account for the largest number of fatalities. One of the types of high-risk aviation accidents is accidents related to the runway operations. The safe operation of the runway depends on the coordinated work of several stakeholders: the airport itself, aircraft operators, and air traffic services. High-risk events on the runway include runway incursion and runway excursion. Reducing the risks associated with these events is a global goal of the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, and a strategic goal of civil aviation in the Republic of Kazakhstan. Runway excursion encompass all events related to actual or potential situations when aircrafts veer off or overrun off the runway surface. Overruns are caused by technical malfunctions of aircraft, crosswinds exceeding permissible standards, degraded runway friction characteristics due to the contaminants, snow and ice formations, water, rubber deposits, and crew errors. To reduce the probability of the aircraft overrun, it is important to maintain good friction characteristics on the runway by timely removing or preventing the formation of snow and ice deposits, prompt rubber deposits removal, and restoring the roughness of the pavement. For these purposes, it is important to the airport personnel to carry out timely inspections of the condition of the pavements, communicate conditions to flight crews via air traffic service, ATS, messages, and issue SNOTAM or NOTAM notices. Organize work on cleaning and repair of pavements. If an excursion occurs, mitigating the impact and damage to the aircraft can be achieved by ensuring proper grading and sufficient strength of runway strip areas. This includes preparing runway strip for veer-offs and preparing the runway end strip and runway end safety area to accommodate overruns. In order for the length of the runway to be sufficient for the landing or takeoff of the aircraft and to prevent the overrun, the crews perform appropriate aircraft performance calculations of the required distances, taking into account the weight of the aircraft, atmospheric pressure at the airfield, air temperature, runway slopes, wind speed, runway surface conditions. The reasons for overruns may also be unstable landings, in which the aircraft may deviate above or below the established glide path or exceed the permissible vertical descent rate. In order to prevent cases of unstabilized landings, aircraft crews are trained to recognize and prevent such situations and to perform a go-around when necessary. Runway incursion. Any occurrence at an aerodrome involving the incorrect presence of an aircraft, vehicle, or person on the protected area of a surface designated for the landing and takeoff of aircraft. Runway incursion occurs mainly due to complex aerodrome schemes, a significant number of taxiways, intersections with the runway, and shortcomings in navigation at the aerodrome. Navigation is provided by defining standard taxi routes, using aerodrome signs, markings, and publishing charts of ground movements at the aerodrome in the Aeronautical Information Publication, AIP. With advances in technology, electronic charts in flight decks further simplify navigation for flight crews. Other reasons are the lack of English proficiency by crews or dispatchers, communication failures or overlaps, and the use of non-standard phraseology. Reduced visibility due to adverse weather conditions is another significant contributing factor. When visibility on the runway is less than 550, low visibility conditions are declared. The risks of runway incursions become very high, since the dispatcher of the Air Traffic Control Center does not see the runway. To ensure flight safety, traffic control in the maneuvering area is carried out by a dispatcher using an aerodrome survey locator. At the same time, the aircraft and special equipment are outfitted with transponders and identified by the dispatcher, who, in case of runway incursion, can promptly respond to the threat and give instructions to the crews and drivers. Locations where the cases of runway incursion occur most are called hotspots. Such areas are marked on aerodrome maps to increase crew awareness. The prevention of runway incursions and runway excursions beyond its boundaries should be an important part of programs and activities aimed at improving runway safety. The aerodrome operator and the air traffic services cannot independently improve safety or effectively manage the safety of runway operations without coordination and cooperation with other stakeholders. The National Runway Safety Group, a working group on the runway safety operations of civil aviation of the Republic of Kazakhstan, is developing strategies to improve runway safety. It suggests initiatives and activities to improve safety, monitors their implementation, and analyzes their effectiveness. Additionally, the group helps to create and improve the work of local runway safety teams at aerodromes across Kazakhstan. An important initiative in 2024 was the adoption of the Runway Safety Program in civil aviation of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The program aims to enhance runway operation safety through systematic risk management and coordinated efforts among all involved organizations. Additionally, by the end of 2024, a runway safety plan in civil aviation of the Republic of Kazakhstan for 2025 to 2029 will be established. Safety in the air begins on the ground.